Happy New Year and welcome to Cut from a Different Cloth. I am your host, Danni Parker. Now this week, we have a lot to cover. I mean, it was very interesting to say the least. I mean, from Oprah, of course, setting the tone with that fiery, her speech. It was just the Golden Globes. She always, I swear, Oprah can always make me cry. Like, since I was a little girl, how she speaks, her words just move like I don't know who can. But, you know, from Oprah to then, of course, our favorite chump in office, Donnie, he's just, from immigrants having to leave this country in the next few months up until a year and a half from now, to him making racially charged comments and then denying them amidst people, certain publications knowing, all of this. It's just a lot that has gone on this week, and even Genuine. I don't know if anyone watches the Celebrity Big Brother, but even he now, after a certain scene that we're gonna get into in just a bit, basically we have to find out if Genuine is transphobic or not. You know, so it's been a lot starting 2018. Again, y'all, Happy New Year. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad I made it into 2018, another year for us to try to strive and be our best selves. So we're about to, come back in just a sec. So your girl is gonna have to get herself together because we gotta get into this tea now. Like, on the real, we need to discuss this because this week it's been like, all right, January starting off a little hot. So we're about to be back in just a moment.
Get caught buzzed driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Welcome back to Cut from a Different Cloth. Of course, it's your girl, Danni P. Now we're about to get into some of this tea because Genuine, before we went to our PSAs, you saw the clip, but we'll play it back just if everyone just started to tune in a little late. Now, we have the clip where it shows Genuine and a journalist, a trans woman, India Willoughby, where they're having a conversation about trans women and his preference, and then she tried to kiss him playfully and he rejected it. So we're gonna see how this scene plays out, and we're gonna see if he was being transphobic or not. So we're about to play that clip.
or anything in front of it. I'm just a woman, okay? So on that score, you would date me, wouldn't you?
Not if you told me you was trans.
No, I'm not telling you I'm trans. I'm a woman.
A woman,
You would date me then.
Woman, yeah.
Go on, let's have a kid. You see, and I think all the... Just not that into it. I think all the unspoken things that you can read into both those responses there illustrate my case.
Now, after seeing that, do I personally think Genuine was being transphobic? Do I see Genuine going out saying, hey, I don't like trans women? No. I just saw a man saying his preference. Like, that's like me saying, well, I like mine tall, dark, and handsome, and you're short, light, and not. It's just like, okay, that's my preference. Like, what I look for, that's like, if you're asking somebody, oh, well, what's your type? Okay, he said his type. He just happens, he doesn't like trans women. It's nothing wrong against that. I don't see him saying, oh, well, this, that, and the third. Like, for instance, I shared that article on Facebook just to see what everyone was talking about. And I had a guy who commented on it and saying like, oh, this is like, well, this dude, he's gay. See, the ignorance that society has when it comes to trans women. It's like, why are we saying, like, even though it was totally uncalled for the man to even refer to her as a man? Like, no, that's not a man who's dressing in drag. That's a man who undergone a surgery and is now in what he feels is his corrective gender. So at least to respect him and say he is a woman. So to say that, it's just like, it shows how marginalized trans people are, because people don't even refer to them as the sexes that they want to be. They just refer to them as the one that they were born with. That's not being respectful to them. So it's just like Genuine saying, well, I want to be with a woman, and okay, what's wrong with the trans woman? That's just not that's not his preference. Now, if he was to say, let's say he goes out with a woman and he believes she's a woman, a trans woman, he believes she's a woman, and that trans woman never says, well, hey, I had surgery. That's misleading. That's misleading. You're lying to someone because you're keeping something that you had, like, of your identity that you altered, whether, you know, they're accepted or not. You're hiding a part of your truth, and that's uncalled for because that is being dishonest. Now, he's just saying, I like to date women. Okay, I don't think this should be, he's coming under heat, he's transphobic, no, he's not. Like, I think it's just a man saying his preference and a woman trying to kiss him, and he was just like, oh no, he rejected it. So why are we so hooked on Genuine if he's a transphobic? Is he, oh no, he doesn't like trans people? He never said that. He only said he just stated his preference. So that's just what that is with Genuine. I personally think Genuine isn't transphobic. I just think he's just a man like any other man who just, you know, I just want to date a woman. That's fine, you know, it's nothing wrong with that. Whatever floats your boat. But that's just how he was coming in that scene. Now, with the tea and this week and stuff, it's been so much controversy. I mean, with H&M, it's just like a mother, like the child, basically people have heard about the whole scandal around H&M. Like, is it being racially motivated? Basically saying, oh, a little boy in a shirt and it's saying the coolest monkey in the jungle, like the cool is like of that sort. And it's like, okay, I see H&M, their marketing team, they didn't think that through. Somebody in the company, when they sold it and it hit American stores, because H&M is also, like, you know, in places like Europe and stuff, even the model, he's not an American boy. He's I believe the mom is from Sweden, so he's a Swedish, he's a black Swedish little boy. So they didn't see the offense, the mother. It's controversy where it's rumored that Diddy has stepped in to offer the boy a contract to model with Sean John, because everyone is just like, it's just this big ordeal, you know? It's just basically the big ordeal of the little boy, and everyone's like, that's racially motivated. H&M should have knew better, this, that, and the third. And the mother went off. She said, you know, because I felt, you know, the parent, they allowed their son to be in that, you know, like, but it's a different culture. So we paying a fine line between that. You know, me as a mom, if that was my son, he wouldn't have been put on there. Like, and if he was without my consent, then there would have been a lawsuit against H&M. But being a black American person, that I see why I would be offended versus someone who is like the mother, who is Swedish, and she I guess it wasn't coming from how she felt. It wasn't racially motivated, despite what everyone's saying. So, I mean, to each his own, you know, but we just have to be sensitive, you know, because people are making jokes of it, like saying for Whole Foods, there's something going around saying, oh, you know, a cracker or something like, I don't know. It's like something with like, it's like saying cracker something. It's just making fun of it because of the situation. So I don't know if it's like, because some people are saying, I personally think this is going to be the big topic for a few days and stuff. We're going to talk about maybe a week and a half more. And then people are going to stop at H&M again. People, just like with Walmart last year, you know, like people still shop at these stores. So it's like, until we're taking our black dollars back, I can't take it too serious, you know, if we're allowing that. Like, yes, we're upset that the boy, you know, wore that shirt, but you're still going to support H&M. H&M's not suffering financially. So, I mean, your cries are falling on deaf ears. Yeah, they pulled the ad, but it's kind of like, who was in the room when this was being approved? Like, no one spoke up. That just lets you know that means there's a lack of diversity within that company. If someone didn't speak up saying, well, hey, maybe our American stores, with the current issues that are going on there, this might not take too well. You know, this might not be a good idea. Sometimes we have to speak up because, look, now our company's under fire, you know? So it's just a lot going on where people are saying, like, you know, with the Golden Globes, like for Oprah, it's just like, oh, let's have Oprah 2020. Like, you know, like even Donald Trump has said, oh, it would be fun running against Oprah, you know, like, but, you know, he's still thinking he would win. I honestly think with Donald Trump, he opened Pandora's box because now it's like a reality star is in the Oval Office. So now we think, oh, okay, Oprah can be in the Oprah. Like, you know, I'm not saying Oprah because mother can always do better than Donald. But it's just like, I really think we should leave POTUS for someone who's more, not equipped for the job, but someone who is very passionate, like their life is centered around, like lawyers who then turn into politicians, judges, you know, of that sort, in that field, in that realm. I think we should keep it like that. I mean, I would love to see Oprah. Like, if she said she wanted to run, she would have my vote, but it's just, I personally think it shouldn't be someone who's a reality star or a journalist, or it should be someone who is a politician, who understands how things should go, how a country, how international like relations go. It should be of that sort. I couldn't run for president. I don't even know what I'll be talking about. I'm like, I just couldn't do it. That's not me. You know, like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, vote for me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know for the laws, as far as laws goes. I don't know like which laws, like when you're playing with that, you see Obama, he went in with all black hair. He came out gray. So I don't need that extra stress. I don't need that. And I don't need Oprah to have that extra stress either. So Oprah's not running for POTUS of 2020, so we won't see her hat in the ring, but hopefully, you know, the Democrats can come up with someone, because we're gonna need that, especially when with mid-year elections coming up this year. So we really need to take back a lot of stuff with the House, because with this clown, he wants to deport people. Now his comments that he's saying, his racially comments he's saying against African countries and Haiti, it's just like, seriously, like, we're just, I have so much I can say about that, but we're just gonna take a quick break and then come back and we're gonna talk about that before we go into our next segment, which is called The Real Deal. So keep it locked, because it's your girl.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals 25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Cost of family time activities getting you down?
Hello, I'm
I'm Dr. Spruce. If you or someone you know needs a healthy dose of nature, visit discovertheforest.org to find out which park or forest is closest to your family.
Acorns are not real currency, but that's okay because parks or forests are either free or super affordable. It's a truly economical way for the whole family to enjoy each other's company and bond beyond the confines of concrete buildings and rush hour.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Welcome back, y'all. It's your girl, Danny P. Now, where I was leaving off at is Donald Trump, he said, I know you guys have seen what he has said this week, you know, from immigration, deporting, like he's just trying to get everyone out. But now he's starting to say, like, you know, he went from the brown people, like he likes to say, the Mexicans with the wall, and then we're going to like Muslim, like based countries that, you know, ban. Now it's, of course, he always has to come on, bring it on home to the Africans, bring it on to the black people. So now he's saying certain comments where referring to countries, like poor countries, like it's just like, seriously? Like, really? Like, it's just an outrage. It's just an outrage. Like the stuff that he's saying, it's like you're not, if you honestly think Donald Trump after this week is not a racist, you have to be living under a rock. You just have to, because there's no way that you cannot think that this man, this orange man, is not a racist. The fact that you're saying, oh, we should bring like over here, like we should bring, instead of having Haitian immigrants, we should have immigrants from Norway. Like, seriously? Are you serious right now? Like, no, even in solidarity for that, Norway, they changed their name to like, oh, king of what he said, just to show solidarity, because this man is really a racist. And the thing is with Donald Trump, he's a racist, or he's saying racist things, but he's saying racist things what he's bringing up from the people, of what people want to say. The rednecks that's in the hills that are coming out of the woods. He's speaking for those people, even though he's speaking for those same people and then cutting their welfare, you know, and their food stamps. I don't know how he can help you. They're just cutting off their nose to spite their face type of thing, because I couldn't vote for someone who, yeah, he gets me charged up. Yeah, they all should make America great again. But he's trying to get rid of those programs that they use, that poor whites use. So it's just very funny to me. It's like, you voted, that's why it's your president. That's not my president. That's not my president. My president, if you ask me, I might still be in the mindset of 2008, honestly, because Obama didn't do that to me. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Like, that's why it's y'all president, because I don't know what to tell you. He's making us look like a joke. Like, I went to Canada like for New Year's or whatever. And it was just like, no, just to see like other people speak on, you know, Donald Trump and see how we look as a people and stuff. It's scary. It feels like you're in a reality show, and it's just like you're watching it and it's like, oh, that reality show is funny, it's funny. And it's like, oh, I feel bad for them. But then when you're in that reality show and you realize you're the one living in it, it's just really just like, wow. You have to laugh to keep from crying on the inside, because he might seriously get us bombed, you know? So enough of him, because he's just going to bring my mood all the way down. You know, we're about to get into the real deal, where I have a question for you guys. Can you be in an interracial relationship and still be pro-black? Now, the reason why I'm asking you this is because I was on Facebook, you know, seeing this week, you know, seeing all the controversy and stuff. And I came across a video because of my cousin. She actually shared the video. And she basically, it was about a few women from London. Like, you could tell by their accent, they were from London, they were from Europe. And they were talking about, like, you know, interracial relationships and being pro-black on it. So I want us to see the video, and then we're going to take some live call-ins where we're going to have people discuss what their take is on the video of, can you be in an interracial relationship and still be pro-black? So we're about to run the clip now.
Because something that we didn't really touch on in the last video was a lot of us, I'd say here, generally are pro-black, right? And you talk about, you know, but can you be pro-black and be in an interracial relationship?
No, you cannot, because I believe. Do you know what? I believe this strongly though, because I think if you're pro-black, for me, pro-black means that you're pushing the black agenda, the black home, black families, black businesses, and all of those things. And I'm not saying that someone that has married like outside of their race cannot support black things, whatever's happening, agendas. But I don't think you can be pro-black in the sense where you're pushing that family agenda, the home and everything. So I think, no, it sounds good. It's good to say, yeah, I'm pro-black and pro-black. But if you go on like that and then you're marrying outside of the race, for me, that's a contradiction. And
yeah, it's like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Well, does anyone disagree?
Dr. Umar person said. Have you seen? Is it Dr. Umar?
He's a bit of a controversial figure.
Well,
but no,
well.
Dr. Umar Johnson.
Yeah. And he said basically, if you date outside your race, you don't respect yourself, basically.
No, to be fair, Donnie. But and I do agree with some of what he says, and I agree with you. I think you can be, but I do feel like it is a bit of a. I'm sorry, but as a black man, you're pro-black, and then your wife is Susan.
But then you just fell in love.
Like it doesn't click for me.
Do you know what?
So you
but with that, I feel like, you know what, you can actually make a choice and say, you know what, I'm actually going out and I want to date black women. I feel like if you're so pro-black, you have it in your mind, you know what, I'm just after the black woman.
And even if you come across them,
even if you come across like, let's just say a white person or I don't know, Asian, whatever the case may be, you'd be like, let me step back to my blacks and keep it.
Yeah,
like,
that's
what
how I
you
feel
do if you're so pro-black.
I just mean, you've been quite quiet. What do you think?
Well, I've come from a relationship where my partner's black and we're a strong relationship, but I'm from a mixed background where my dad's white, and it was a happy home. It's not no different to, my home now with my kids and my partner is a happy home as a black home, but what's the difference with a white dad and a black woman? It, to me, doesn't matter on the colour. I haven't never seen as colour as a part of an issue or skin deep. It's past that. So I don't know, I'm a bit step back because I'm pro-relationship, I'm pro-happiness. I wouldn't say I'm pro-a colour. Or my partner's black, my partner is white. Regardless, my family home, I'm pro making that work. So I don't know. I just step back on that one because I don't push the blackness, because I don't want my kids to see that they're only black. They're human, and everyone in their class is the same as them. I don't want him to come home and be like, "What's my skin color different to?" You're just a person in the class.
So you're.
Hey y'all, so we just seen the video where they were talking and they were discussing, you know, basically, can you be in an interracial relationship and still be pro-black? Now, I have a few problems with the video. No, okay, let me finish the story first. So my cousin shared it and I actually commented on there, and we actually have a caller on the phone. So we're basically, I'm about to let the caller get a chance in, and I basically feel like you can and you can't. It's a thin line, but I'm gonna actually let the caller speak. So caller, can you please state your name and where you're from?
Hi, Danny. This is Narissa from Boston. I'm just calling in because I have a few ideas and pointers about this. I feel like you do not have to be in a pro-black relationship to be pro-black. Like, I feel like it doesn't matter who you are with, like, they're going to support you no matter what. If you're with somebody from another culture, you're going to end up having multiracial kids. So in people's eyes, once you're mixed with black, you're fully black.
That is true.
They're going to have to stick up for the rights of their children, and they're going to want the best for them.
That is true. I can understand that. Now, okay, so do you think black love is tied to the black community?
It is, but at the same time, it shouldn't matter. Love is love. You can't help who you fall in love with. And you just have to hope that your partner respects your culture and understands it. It's your job to let them understand what's going on in your culture, what it's about, so that it can run smoothly. And there will be a certain respect. Because there's a lot of people from other cultures who have fought harder than some black people for black religion, black rights. So I feel like just like Colin Kaepernick, he's mixed. If his parents weren't together, he wouldn't be here, and he lost his whole career just for black rights.
That's true too. I mean, there is a lot of people who are of mixed races that do fight for Black rights more than Black people. Well, I should say Black Americans, because there are Black people on all around the world that are fighting for rights, but some here, it's hard for us, you know, being a Black American and feeling like that, because, you know, in some interracial relationships, people can feel like, oh, you know, well, maybe they let their white significant other say little racist comments, you know, like something of that sort. Basically feeling like, hey, they just let them say, because there's some Black men with a white girl, and she can say something against down on Black women, and he's just okay with it. It's
that's when I have a problem. Like, I feel like they can be an interracial couple, but not because, oh, you don't like Black women or you don't like Black men. It should be equal. Like, anyone should be able to date whoever they want, and if someone says something about your race, you should check them about it, or that's not the person you should be in a relationship with.
That is true. That is definitely true, because that's tapping on a whole different type of level. Honestly, that's happening on a whole different level. But thank you, Narissa, because we have another caller coming in. Thank you so much for giving me your stand on it.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye. So, caller, I know you're on the line, and your name and where you're from.
My name is, and I'm from Framingham.
Okay, caller. So, Amy from Framingham. So, what are your views on interracial relationships? Can you be in an interracial relationship and still be pro-Black?
I think you can still be in an interracial relationship and be pro-Black, because I think it's more about just yourself being pro-Black. It doesn't matter who you're with, because you can be, even if you're from a different race, let's say you're Indian and you're dating someone from a Scottish background, you can still be pro-Indian and pro-Scottish and still be together. So I think as Black people, we shouldn't limit ourselves in our relationship, and you shouldn't be like, oh, I can't date this person or that person because I want to be pro-Black. Now, where it becomes important is while you're in this relationship, remembering to teach this other person whenever there's moments that they're saying things that's, against or belittling your race. You take that moment to teach them and to educate them and to show them, where you're from and your heritage and your pride, and just explaining to them, where you come from, and maybe that their belief is not what they believe is true. And as far as other people, I think you shouldn't say, oh, I think it's not okay to say, I want to date another race because Black people are this and this and this and that. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a male. If you're saying, I don't want to date a Black female because this bad trait or that bad trait, then that's not okay. That's not a reason to date a different race. But if you love somebody else and they're a different race, then I think that's okay. But yeah, that's my take on it.
That's definitely a good take on it. As long as you're still respecting, like, okay, I'm pro-Black, and think that this is wrong. Because I would hate to have, if I have a white boyfriend and I'm telling him, like, this, that, and the third, and I had this run-in, and he just doesn't understand. I would feel like, wow, I'm being let down because I'm with the man that I love. He doesn't understand where I'm coming from and the injustice that I'm I'm currently facing. So,
yep, or even if it's on a simpler term. For example, if you're dating a Black guy, make sure and you wrap your hair. If you're dating Billy, you need to wrap your hair.
Right, because don't be timid for Billy and I don't do that, and then Tyrone, you coming out with rollers and stuff.
Just wrap your head. If Billy asks you why you wrapping your head, it's just because I can't get my edges got to be laid for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Billy got to understand them edges got to be laid for work. So if he can't understand that,
you can teach him. Yep, even on small things like that, and even on bigger moments, you should also explain what's going on. So yeah.
That is true. That's why I'm just like, no, yeah, that's the thing too. And Black women I do notice that they will act a certain way with Billy, but not with Tyrone. And I don't like that, because I feel like that means purposely what you're doing. That means you're part of the problem too with the culture, because it's like, okay, if Black men are saying, well, Black women are aggressive and this, that, and the third, and you're being aggressive and this, that, and the third with them, but then you're being soft-spoken and you're being mild and timid and with Billy, no, that means what you're doing. So you can, just like you're picking and choosing your battles with Billy, you can pick and choose your battles with Tyrone. So it's just like, I don't like that when Black women do that. If I'm going to give you this attitude, I'm giving it to any man color. Like, if if only need be, not just, oh, I have an attitude, I woke up with an attitude. No, if something offends me, I'm going to stick up for myself, and then we can have dialogue. So if we can't have dialogue, then I don't know.
And I truly believe that, because being pro-black is also being pro-you and not limiting yourself because of a certain stereotype. So if you are loud and you like to, be, out and proud, and that's seen as being too black, be you. That doesn't mean you're being too black. You're being you, and you be you with whoever you are.
That is true. That is definitely true. That's why I'm just like, yeah, no, that is definitely true. Okay, but thank you so much, Amy, for calling. I think we have another caller. I'm not too sure. Ashley just told me I think we have another caller. So thank you so much for calling in and giving me your take on interracial relationships and being pro-black. Next caller, I think we have a caller on the line. Can you tell me where you're from and your name and where you're from?
Reek. I'm calling from Boston.
Okay, Reek from Boston. So I have a question. Can you be in an interracial relationship and still be pro-black?
No, I don't think you can. I don't think you can be pro-black in an interracial relationship.
Okay, so why not? Because I've had a few ladies call already, and they said you can, as long as a man, if he respects me, and respects my views as being black and the injustice that black people go through and stuff, they feel like a white man, they could be with a white man and still be pro-black. So it's interesting to hear now you're saying that you can't.
I'm saying no, only because it defeats the purpose of saying that you're pro-black. How can you tell me you're pro-everything black except for the way that you're looking to recreate life and bring world back into this, this world? Yes, your children will be black as well, but, our goal is to protect black, to love black, and to be black 65, and you can't really do that if you're, if you have a child with somebody of the opposite race. Now, in a perfect world, yes, that would be great, but we don't live in a perfect society.
That is definitely true. Now, okay, so then I have a question too, I guess maybe a follow-up to that. I guess if you're in an interracial relationship and let's say you have children and let's say you have a daughter, and you have a sister, and your white wife asks your sister saying, oh, I'm trying to find barrettes, I can't find any barrettes or anything like that. Let's say you guys live out in Stoughton or something, I don't know. And she tells your sister, oh, well, can you pick up some barrettes for me because you live in the ghetto, right? So they should have some there, right? How would you feel being married to her and this is the first time she's ever displayed, like, even though she wasn't being racist, but saying, okay, an environment where your sister lives is, okay, they should have barrettes for your daughter because she's half black. Like, how would you feel as that, like being in an interracial relationship like that? Would you think that your wife is still pro-black? Like, how would you feel?
Something like that, that's where all the problems and that's where things come from. When you have that level of ineptitude to understand and bridge what people are going through. Again, her making a comment of going to the ghetto to pick up hair barrettes is insensitive. Yeah, she might not be sensitive to what goes on, but at the end of the day, you still don't run into those type of issues when you're with somebody who's from the same cultural background as you. Yeah, there are some white people who are understanding of our struggle, our plight, who have grown up around us, but that still doesn't give anybody an excuse or a right to say anything that they see just fit, because that's the way they see it through those lenses. And yes, I would see her less as far as the movement, because you're not supposed to do anything to detract or take away from what we have as black people. So to call the hair barrette ghetto or the place where they're sold ghetto is a slight on the community and people involved in that community.
Okay. That's what I think too. I said that to someone else as well. I gave her the same scenario just with her son. How would she feel if the brother or so? So I feel personally, I feel like how you do in a sense, like if you're pro-black everything, but the person that is supposed to mirror you isn't black, it's like, okay, I know love is love, but I want to have babies who look like me, who look like him. I want to have a black family because black love is tied to the black community. If the black community with black love, you create black babies. They see how black love is, how a black man treats a black woman. So they grow up being like that. They don't go up to the streets. They have a father who is disciplined so they can be well-rounded, like our dollars in our community. So I do think being in an interracial relationship, which is fine and dandy, I think that hurts the cause of what society is trying to do with locking up black men. So then, you know, black women only have, like, you know, white men and other men to dilute the race. So.
Oh yeah, but that stuff is done on purpose. From stuff like, you know, the mass incarceration system, prison industrial complex, pipeline to prison systems. I mean, it's all done by design. It all goes back to slavery and the mentality of, you know, the slave master come down to the slave quarters and rape the female slaves in front of the male slaves, and he can't do anything to protect his woman. So sometimes a lot of our women see our men as inferior. They can't protect them. They can't do anything to help them. And, you know, the only person who's been there for them has been Massa, a.k.a. the Section 8, a.k.a. the food stamps, the government assistance housing, those type of programs. So when, you know, some of our women are forced to sort of like get away from that, not to look for that man. And then, you know, they also push on some of our sisters you know, you don't need a man. Just go to school, focus on yourself, and settle in your own field. Don't even worry about that. Trying to force away and push away the fact that some of our women, yes, can be successful businesswomen. Yes, they can be mothers, but still have families to raise and grow like that.
That's true. That's absolutely true. And I agree with you on that. Like, I think women are, especially black women, they're being conditioned to either be a strong, independent black woman, or it's something where black women, they feel like they can't find a black man, or they make excuses for that. And I don't like that, personally. I think, like, if we're going to do that, if we're going to call a black man to sell out for being with a white woman, we should call a black woman to sell out for being with a white man, too. We shouldn't make excuses. Honestly, that's why I think with the video, I think it should have just been black people. If you're pro-black as a black person and you're not, and your mate doesn't mirror that, then that's a difference. And I don't think it's a self-hate. It could just be, you know, different cultures. White people in America are racist. I don't think white people from Polish or somewhere in Europe are racist like white rednecks here. So I think that's also something that comes into play too with interracial relationships. So it's just really a trial and error type of thing, personally. But I honestly agree with you with, like, you know, with procreating and all of that. I feel that I'm pro-black, so that means I want to have a black man. I want to have black babies with him, and I'm fine with that. I'm not trying to be racist or knocking anyone who doesn't. That's just my preference.
And that's not to say, you know, the people who do believe in interracial relationships, they're any less black, because that's another thing too, that people assume that, you know, if you say somebody is into interracial relationships, or that, you know, as a person you're into that, then you're less black, or it takes away from some level of blackness. It doesn't take away from that. It just means your awareness to me isn't as high as I thought it should be. That's it. No knock, no slight. We need everybody we can.
That's true. That is true. But thank you so much, because we have to wrap up. Thank you so much for your commentary on do you think if interracial relationships, can you be in one and still be pro-black? Thank you so much for calling in and letting me know your opinion. To hold it down for the fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Honestly, I think with interracial relationships, it's just a matter of respect, and certain little racist comments can go said. Like, personally, I have heard of a situation where, oh, you know, you have to get barrettes or something, so a sister-in-law could say to her sister, her black sister, oh, well, you live in the ghetto, you can get barrettes. What? Who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? See, I can't do that. I can't do that. But, you know, I'm just like, to me personally, oh, we have a caller. I guess I'll finish my point afterwards. Caller, your name and where you from?
My name is Alani Jackson, and I am from Boston, Massachusetts.
Hi, Alani.
Hi.
So, okay, so do you think that a person can be in an interracial relationship and still be pro-black?
I do. For me personally, like, you can't help who you fall in love with. So, you know, just because I fall in love with a white man doesn't mean that I'm any less pro-black than the next black woman or the next black person. Like, who I'm with does not define what I support.
So, like, I just look at, like, a Jesse Williams. Now, he is the product of a interracial relationship, and he is incredibly pro-black. Now, say if he goes and marries a white woman, does that change how pro-black he is?
Well,
No,
for him,
it doesn't.
I don't mean to cut you off, but for him, he did kind of divorce his black natural wife and has a white girlfriend. But I'm just.
But again, that doesn't change the fact that he's
Right,
so pro-black, though.
right.
Does it not?
No, it doesn't change the fact. But if he's fighting for black rights and stuff and black injustices and stuff. Let's say him and his white wife get stopped. Now, let's say if we didn't know him and he was just Jesse Williams, the interaction between the two, it would be like, okay, she would be upset, but how deep can her understanding truly be? You know,
and that's the thing. Like, well, sorry to cut you off, but like I look at it where it's just like it don't matter what. Like, yes, a lot of people like they're not going to understand what we go through as black people. But that does not mean that they don't see the injustice. They don't see the wrong. So just because you're white, purple, green, yellow, don't mean that you can't also be pro-black. Like, people were praising Bill Clinton when he was our president and Bernie Sanders for being so pro-black and so for the black people. So for me, if I'm going to be with a partner and he just happens to be white, I'm going to make sure that we're on the same level and the same understanding where it's just like, yo, like, this is wrong. I'm going to sit here and fight for my people's rights. If you're not going to do the same, then you can keep it moving.
Okay, then. So then I have a question then. So if so say you're with a white man or something like that, and say you have a brother or something, like an actual brother, and y'all are married and stuff, and he says something like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get, and y'all have a son, y'all have a mixed son, and you're trying to get him some hair products or something, and he's trying to get his son the hair products or whatever, and he asks your brother like, oh yeah, like, what hair products, I know you know hair products, they have them in the ghetto, like, how would
At that point, I wouldn't be with nobody who would say something like that, because again, they would understand that something like that is not okay.
Right. Now, what if you've been with this person like a long time, like there's decades involved, and they said something like that? Would that, like, because I'm not saying all, but some relationships, that interracial relationships, black people are little, they basically kind of let it slide. So, but go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and like for me, like I completely agree with that. But for me, if I decide to be in an interracial relationship, that's gonna be on me to educate my partner to be like, you already know, something like that is not okay to say around black people or in general. But also for me, I know, like, again, if I end up, going and dating a white guy, marrying a white guy, that is going to be somebody, again, who doesn't necessarily, like, I'm not going to see him as a white man. It's going to be like, oh, okay, like, we think alike. We see these things alike. Like, okay, when it comes to this issue of black people, like, we see this alike. Because even with black men, there's some black people who don't even support other black people.
That is true.
So it's like, okay, if I have this white man who's over here supporting black injustice, black rights, and all that, and will sit here and fight that with me over a black man who's like, oh, nah, like, that's all good. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, we're just going to keep living our lives. I'm going to choose the white man.
That's true. I mean, because, I see what you're saying. Like, it's all about how he treats you and stuff. That's real. So that's what I'm saying. That's why love is love regardless. And that's the part that I see.
So like I said, just as long as your partner understands, that's the most important thing. Like, I feel like a race doesn't define anything. Like, you can be whatever. Again, like I said, black people don't support black people. They see nothing wrong with what's going on with black people nowadays. But then you see a whole bunch of white people or Hispanic people or Asian people outraged by it.
That's
so
yeah. I mean, because not to cut you off, Alana, because we have to wrap up. So what you're saying is that you can be in an interracial relationship and still be pro-black as long as that person has the same understanding and can respect where you're coming from, still being a black woman and still understanding that the struggles of a black person, even if they don't share melanin in your skin, the same melanin there, it's like that they still, as long as they understand and are trying to fight and on the same alignment with you with black rights and you would be with them, it's fine.
Yes.
I can see that. I can definitely see that as a point. And thank you so much for calling because we're wrapping up the show. So thank you so much for calling and giving me your point on that.
Oh, no, you're very welcome.
Thank you. So, guys, we're wrapping up the show, and, you know, from the tea this week, you know, with Genuine, I'm telling you, he's not transphobe. We shouldn't even be having this conversation, honestly. He has a preference. He wants to be with a natural woman. It's fine. I still love trans women. I still love them. You know, everyone, it's like, if people don't understand it, they're going to have to understand it anyway. They're not going anywhere, and just be respectful, you know. But we all have dating preferences, you know. Donald Trump is still a chump, you know, chump in office, you know, it's a sick joke that I just really wish we can stop, you know what I'm saying? And personally, with the interracial and pro-black, you can be pro-black and stuff. I just think if you're sending a message saying this, that, and the third, and you're going so hard being a black person and you're all about black rights and this, that, and the third, then your significant other should reflect that. But if you find that in someone who isn't black, that is beautiful too. As long as they're still fighting the injustice, I'm here for this. But again, thank you for my crew. You guys are amazing. We made it through our first show of the year. I'm excited about that. I can't wait to the next episode to see y'all again. Thank you for tuning in to Cut from a Different Cloth. As always, I am your host, Danni Parker, and I hope I'm sending y'all nothing but positive vibes only. Peace and blessings to all.